Did You Have To is a proud member of the But Why Though podcast community.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Did You Have To, the podcast where we review live action adaptations of your favorite animations. And, well, we're just two bad bitches of anime, in all honesty.
Yay! You said it!
I did!
You said the thing!
I did the thing. The thing was done.
Yay! Our new tagline, which I loved so much.
Because he came up with it, and it's so damn good.
Thank you. Thank you, but it's facts. We're
It
bad
is
bitches
facts.
who talk about anime.
Yeah, because I think we talked about it last episode. Our show is kind of expanded well beyond just we're going to watch shitty movies and get drunk watching them to we're going to talk about all the things anime.
Yeah. Look at how far we've come. Look where we are.
It's almost like we're weeps or something.
I know. Like, but in all honesty, did anybody ever expect for us to just keep it to, yeah, we're just going to watch live action anime movies?
No.
No.
Not at all. Not a single soul who follows us on Twitter, that's for sure.
Nah, that was never going to happen. But, if Funimation would stop, if Funimation would just stop taking all the live action movies down before we could get to them, then maybe we would actually do a live action
Exactly.
review again.
Like, our goal was to do Parasite because that was on Funimation and it's spooky, but it's gone now. So
For months. It has been there for almost, maybe even years it has been there. And then also Tokyo Ghoul.
Yep, that was also there and then it was gone.
Every time. Every time.
It's very frustrating.
Very.
But one day we'll get back to it. Maybe next week. We're trying. But what we're doing this week is we reviewed Cannon Busters, which was one of our most waited for series from Netflix. And now we're doing the second one, Ses Manos.
Yay! So excited.
I'm super, super, super excited. I have been... so obviously we're going to skip Crunchy Time because we watched Ses Manos this week. It came out this past weekend, so it was just binge, which it's a super bingeable show. It's only 8 episodes, and they're only 30 minutes each.
So easy to binge. Like, I was kind of upset when I got to episode 6 and I realized I only have 2 more episodes to go.
Oh yeah, I had that moment where I was like, should I keep going?
I do that so much with anime where I'm like, ooh, but if I watch these next 3 episodes, then it's over. I'll just put it in a bucket and never touch it again until like the next season comes. Then I'll watch them. But no, Seis Manos was too good to not finish.
Yeah. So if you don't know too much about Ses Manos is a Netflix original anime made in conjunction with Viz Media from Powerhouse Animation. What other anime does Powerhouse Animation do, Nisha?
Castlevania.
Yeah, the one that like actually put Netflix on the map for producing good adult animation.
The best. It is so good. It is like Netflix's best anime. Actually, I would rank this after Seis Manos now, though. And that's mainly because Castlevania only gives you 4 episodes for the first season.
It's so short.
It's so short, but that's the only reason I would like rank them differently.
Oh, and those vampires are gorgeous.
Oh my god, so gorgeous. And Trevor Bell. Oh. I love Castlevania so much. Oh, god dang it. No, sorry, this is a Seis Manos review.
It is a Seis Manos review. But
Castlevania.
The cool thing is I would argue that Seis Manos very much fits into the vein of spooky because there are monsters, there are piles of bodies.
Yep.
And it is so dark and so good. You can definitely tell that it came from the same studio as Castlevania.
Yes. And honestly, I thought about this because I've been seeing your tweets. I'm like, Seis Manos is truly, like, I feel like it's the holy trinity of Kate. It's anime, it is spooky, and Mexican.
Yep, it's me.
It's Kate.
It's me. Like, that's how you make a Kate.
That's the transmutation ingredients. And that's it. That's how you get a Kate.
That's how you get it. There we go.
Yeah, but
I actually love that you say that because I've been telling everybody it's magic, monsters, and Mexicans. What more do you want?
Yeah. That's truly your brand. I was just like, there has never been an anime I felt has truly been your brand till this day. Like, obviously, I can pick out a handful of anime that you like, but then I was just like, this was made for Kate. This is hers. This is her moment.
It's real good, and it's real good for a lot of reasons. So the story itself, we talked a little bit about Cannon Buster's origin, so I want to talk a little bit about Sesmanos's. Sesmanos was co-created by Brad Graber and Alvaro Rodriguez. And it is the first major adult animation that focuses on a Latinx story, but in the course of this episode, I'm not going to use Latinx. I'm going to say Mexican because this isn't about a pan-Latin identity. This is a very Mexican story. In the stylings, in the Spanish used, down to the folk religion that ends up coming into it. Like, this is a Mexican story. And it's set in 1970s Mexico, and it revolves around 3 orphans trained in the Chinese martial arts, Isabela, Jesus, and Silencio. When their Sifu, who is also their surrogate father, Chu, is murdered, they join forces with Brister, who's a American DEA agent, because, America's always got to be there, and Officer Garcia, who is a Mexican police officer for the town of San Simon. And they do this to avenge him, and the cool thing is it's not really a regular whodunit. It's more of like we're going to find out who did it in the first episode. And then it's just going to be a whole bunch of cartel, monsters, magic, and a lot of blood after that. But yeah, that's Sesmanos.
Perfect summarization of it, honestly. But yeah, no, I think like from all of our discussions, obviously, like we talk a lot about representation on this show and together when we're not recording. So like, I really enjoyed, that's like one of the things I really enjoyed about the show is just like it's specifically focused on Mexican culture. Instead of like you said, like it's great like to be inclusive of like Latinx culture as a whole, but then it's like it's really nice that like when they zeroed in on like a specific part of the culture.
Yeah. And something that made me so like it's really hard too because like I don't want to talk about all the things that Sesmanos is inspired by, but like it's really important to it because so Americans know most of the time exploitation cinema. Like exploitation cinema is drugs, violence, sex, whole bunch of stuff. And Americans know blaxploitation cinema, which is essentially what Brister stands in for. But a lot of people don't really know mexploitation, which is an entire subgenre of the exploitation genre itself. And that is firmly rooted, Sesmanos is firmly rooted in that, although it does reference other forms of exploitation cinema. This is very much where it comes from. If you do know about mexploitation, you're probably going to know about Robert Rodriguez's films. So from Dusk Till Dawn, Desperado, El Mariachi, those films. And you can definitely see an influence from Dusk Till Dawn in this series, especially with the monsters and like the religion behind it. But the amazing thing is that exploitation cinema and kung fu cinema have always had this really beautiful relationship. It's something that blaxploitation did really, really well. And this series brings up mexploitation to meet it in the same way that other subgenres have, which is really beautiful for me to see as a fan of kung fu cinema as well as exploitation, because the cool thing is each character, Isabela, Jesus, and Silencio, like they each have their own form of martial arts that fits their personality type. So like Jesus is the most recognizable one, which is drunken boxing. Like, I mean, everybody saw that Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah. Like the Drunken Master.
Exactly. Like, it's the one that we know the most in the U.S. And then you have Isabela's, which is Hungar. And that is, Hungar is what we see used in, by the Earthbenders in Avatar: The Last Airbender. As well as, you kind of see it a little bit in the Kung Fu Panda movies. I know it's a weird reference, but stick with me
No,
here.
but it's iconic. Like the two-fisted, like, I don't know what the move is called, y'all. But it's like the punch where you like you lean over. Two-fist punch. Yes.
And those have styles. Hungar embodies 5 animals, so tiger, crane, snake, leopard, and dragon. And then you have Silencio, who uses Bakmi. And Bakme is also known as white eyebrow. Hint, hint, because he gets a white eyebrow. But the really, really cool thing, and you can cut me off at any time, I just really love this anime and how much work went into it. Bak Mi is actually a form of kung fu that is not modified for competition because of how deadly it is. Literally nobody uses that in competition. It is the type that, like, you do to kill people. Which makes his personality is, like, the most angry one and the most volatile. White fits with that. Whereas...
completely makes sense.
Right? And, like, Hungar it's firm, it's sound, and that's Isabella. And then you have Jesus, who, like, literally drinks his problems away. So drunken boxing is perfect. So, yeah. I recognized the drunken boxing, but I actually DM'd one of the creators, Alvaro, to ask him specifically, because in the show you can tell that their fighting styles match, but you don't really get names for what they use. So I DM'd him and I was like, hey, what did you style them after? And, like, they actually looked at how these moves work and how bodies look when they do them and animated it. And it's chef's kiss. It's so good.
That's dope. No, I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm enjoying all the knowledge because I didn't know, like, their styles either, but I could tell. And that was one of my things I really liked is, like, each of these characters are very unique in their fighting styles. And I think that's something that's really dope about it. Because it's just, like, and it, like you said, it fits, their fighting styles don't only fit, like, their design, it fits their, like, whole entire personality. Like how you said, like, Isabella's, like, very sound, and she's, like, the one who's trying to come up with a plan, or the logical one, whereas, like, Silencio is very quick to, like, I'm gonna snatch your throat out.
Exactly.
And
quite literally that.
Literally, I'm gonna just snatch your throat out. And, like, I realized, I'm like, there's a reason why he wasn't allowed to spar with the other ones, wasn't there?
I think my favorite move from him is where he it's when they're going into El Balde's compound, and Isabella sees him, and then he just looks at her and then just, like, pokes the dude's temple out and kills him, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That was so good and so forceful, and I'm scared.
Yeah. And a little turned on. But anyways.
You're not wrong.
Like, right. But it's like, at the same time, he was just like, well, I tried not to kill him. But did he? No.
Exactly.
But that is one of my favorite things. Is just, like, you can see, like, the efforts that they put into the martial arts of the series. Like, and, like, it's dope that you were able to, like, research and ask them about it, because I would have, like, not known where to start as far as, like, what's this style and what's that style. But it's interesting to, like, know that too, because it makes complete sense. Like, those are the styles that they each have.
Yeah. And I think what makes it really beautiful, like, as a viewer, as a critic, as Kate, is there's nothing and specifically nothing with the siblings that is an afterthought. Like, everything that they represent, every character archetype from exploitation that they represent, every move, every relationship, everything that they do is so well crafted that they feel like whole characters.
Yes.
Which is sometimes hard to do when you have a show that is so violent. And I mean, I don't know who your favorite character was, but surprisingly, Silencio was mine. And, like, he does not speak. Like, that's why his name is Silencio. Like, he doesn't have a single line. Oh, he has, like, one line of dialogue. But, like, he doesn't speak. But yet, the way he's animated and the story that they build around him is so good that I was most drawn to him. Isabella's a close runner-up, but, like, Silencio's my number one for me.
Yeah, I would definitely say, for ranking them, Isabella's my number one. And I love Jesus. So it's like Jesus and then Silencio. But it doesn't mean I love Silencio least of all. It's just like, I think I kind of liked the whole, after they find out that their master dies. Because at first, when we're like introduced to the characters, like, oh yeah, Jesus seems like he's like the comic relief. And like, oh no. Like him being in the bar and like having the guy showing him like to punch him, and he just wants to fight and he doesn't want to feel pain anymore. I'm like, oh, it made me feel like more feeling, and it's just like Isabella's trying to hold them all together, but then it's also like, there's just like so much I like about all of them. Yeah, like Silencio, I don't know, like he just puts up this wall again, but his siblings are still trying to get there and like be there for him. It's just, it's just, I don't know if I can rate them now.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because like I do love them all. Like I love Jesus, and I do think he has moments like this show hits in really like unexpected emotional beats because of the genre. Like the ending of the first episode with the statue falling.
Yo,
dude,
I did not see that.
I was like, what the hell?
I didn't think they were gonna do it.
Yeah.
I was expecting like Jesus to come in to stop it from falling. Somebody to come and like grab him real quick, for Silencio to do it. But like it just happens so quickly, and it just sets the tone. Like very quick, like even
you know
further,
what you're getting
like,
into.
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, like after that scene, because like I definitely would agree. Like it up until that point, like it's weird. Like the entire opening of the series opens on this ritual, which is deeply baked in like Mexicans and other like the other people too, but like a lot of Mexican Catholicism, because of colonization and it being forced on us, on indigenous peoples, means that when we practice, and I use we loosely because I'm not Catholic anymore, but like when my family would practice, when Mexicans would practice, there are things that carry over from indigenous life, and there are like saint veneration is something that is on a whole nother level with Mexicans. And there is an entire, and they call it a cult, but like it's called Santa Muerte. And it is almost the exact iconography that we see El Balde, who is voiced by Danny Trejo, everybody's Theo.
Perfect casting. Okay.
It's so good.
So good.
He's so scary. I love him.
And like my first introduction to that man was Spy Kids.
Oh yeah, Theo Machete.
So, yes. And so like after that point, I'm just like, this man is dope, and he just seems scary, but he also seems like super cuddly. Like once you get to know him, just give him an Oscar.
If he doesn't already have much.
Oh, he's the best, and he also liked our tweet. So and
I died inside when he liked my tweet because, or he liked our tweet because I was like, oh my god, he saw something that is on something that we do. Oh my gosh, does he know who I am?
He's Theo. Aware of our existence. Theo. He might follow you now. You can't die on me if he follows you.
I'll try not to.
No, I'm not doing the show
alone.
But no, that was just so dope. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation. But yes, his casting, again, I think is perfect. And his voice acting. I never doubt that man and his acting ability.
Never.
But you were saying,
so El Balde has a religious cult, pretty much. It's called Santa Nucifera. Looked up Nucifera. It's not an actual word. It's like a genus for coconut. So that's hilarious. I don't know how they came up with it. I would love to know. But essentially what it does is it takes Santa Muerte and makes it into something that is detached and different, while still retaining how it looks and the purpose. So Santa Muerte is a cult that worships a folk religious practice that worships the personification of death. Because of this, like a lot of criminals, cartels, like she's technically like this patron saint of Narcos, but there is like when you distill it to that, you miss that there are towns in Mexico like Tepito, where people pray to Santa Muerte not because they're criminals, not because they're narcos, but they pray to Santa Muerte because death finds all. It's the only equalizing factor. It's she can give and she can take away, because they live in towns that are so plagued with violence that there's no one else to turn to. So when you read a lot of there really aren't any good scholarly books out currently on Santa Muerte. They're all like really from like that white person lens, like this is all crazy brown people. But ultimately, like, worshiping Santa Muerte is not that different than like my grandma having the Mexican Virgin Mary in her house and praying to that instead of Jesus. Like,
okay,
it's fairly the same thing. That being said, they use it to build out monsters, and it's so good because they like eat things and they use all these like Catholic rituals to then turn people into monsters, and it's so good.
So like just want to add to that. So like with the ashes, like is that because my first thought was like, oh, like Ash Wednesday, because like when like and like they'll take the ashes and it's to symbolize, you know, like they'll put on the foreheads of the participants, and it's supposed to symbolize believe in the gospel or repent. So is that like, I kind of like, my assumption was like, oh, so is this like their way of like dedicating their body as a sacrifice to become these monsters, or like believing in her powers? Like, so, I was just curious into that.
Yeah, it's like the way I took it when I watched the show is that it was because like if you notice, whenever he turns people, like in the beginning at least, when it's still structured, after he essentially gives them communion. Yeah. Which is the ashes, blood, pieces of the body. That's true. Yeah. He has them pray. And I think I think it's just a ritual for them to do that. But yeah, Ash Wednesday, like I'd be really curious if that's if that's why they chose to do the ashes first, or if it was just to like showcase that they can do a cross and make it real weird, because
yeah, and I think it was definitely the cross that made me think of Ash Wednesday, because like, you know, they usually take the ashes and they make it in a cross, and like him doing that, I just assumed, oh, so like it's symbolic to that. Like, granted, I'm not Catholic. I'm like non-denominational Christian, which, yeah, I'm not.
Catholics are weird, and Mexican Catholics are the weirdest.
I've been to I've been to an Irish Catholic church service, and I've been to a Mexican Catholic church service, and as friends brought me, and I was just like, I don't know, I don't do any of this stuff, but it's just like I was just like, I learned a lot. I'm just like, oh, interesting. But then again, this is why I'm not denominational. Honestly, sorry, we're not going to get into religion on this podcast unless it's related to Sesmanos.
But yeah, like the Catholic imagery just lends so well to building out this magical world. And then what they also do is there's this concept like people believe it's real. Again, I'm an atheist, I don't believe it's real, but it's really deep in our culture.
We are truly like an odd couple friends.
We are.
But it's one of my favorite things. Like, this is one of my great friends. She's an atheist and likes anime, and I'm a Christian and I like anime. We get along great.
Exactly.
And people from the outside are just like, how? I'm like, we do. That's great.
But yeah, there's this thing called curanderismo. I hate conjugating stuff in Spanish. I'm not a native speaker, so like, give me a break, people listening, please. But curanderismo is a faith healing practice. People who do that are called curanderas, which you see Garbelina called that, or Garbina called that, the old curandera. And they have connection to the world in a different way, where they can access essentially the earth and spirits and heal people. And the cool thing for me is this is the third curandera or curandero that I've seen this year in media. The first one was in the Curse of La Llorona movie, which is awful movie, but the curandero was cool. The Terror Infamy uses a curandera in an amazing way. And then now I have the curandera here who's strong as fuck, and I love that old lady. She's mean, and she reminds me of my grandma.
I do love her though. She's dope. Like, and then you get her backstory, and you're just like, yes, yes, I love her. Protect her at all cost.
But yeah, so those are just some of the things, like, we can talk more generally now, but like those are some of the things that like really hit me when I watched it. Because they're like, they show the detailing, but then they also show the real Mexican things that are going on. And a show just doesn't hit me like this, like before. Like, we don't get to be heroes. Like, ever. We don't have any. I mean, we have like El Santo and stuff in like in Mexico, but like when you look at like the state of media, we're nowhere. We don't get to be Latinos on screen. We get to be aliens and shit. We're the largest demographic in the United States, and we get 5% of all roles in media. It's the lowest percentage per population. It's awful. And then I have something like Sismanos coming into my life, and it's like, it's one of those things where like, I'm not gonna like it just because it's Mexican, but there is a depth to it that it is better because of it, because I can see things and identify with it and see pieces of my heritage and my family and my identity in it. Like, hell, I was so happy that they made Isabella like muscular, and they didn't make her like slim, like tiny. Like, they made her like she has been training her entire life as a martial artist.
Right. No, like arm goals. For real. Yeah. She's my arm goals now. Honestly, my whole body goals.
Yes. I was doing cardio today, and I was like, I gotta look like Isabella.
It is great motivational.
But yeah, no, it touched me a lot, and it's partly the Mexican notes to it, and but the other part is just my deep love of exploitation film and kung fu and Robert Rodriguez's monsters, and it all sings for me. Like, you're right, like, this is me.
This is you. And
it's anime, like, it's spooky, and it's Mexican.
And it, like, first, I appreciate you just like being able to like speak to a lot of this stuff, because like I there's a lot of things I didn't pick up on and that I'm not aware of, but I appreciate like the detail that's gone in. Like you said, like there's so much detail they put into it, from like the martial arts side of it to also just the characters, and then like adding in elements of the culture that I think truly makes this so special. And like you said, it's like, I typically am the kind of person that's like, I'm gonna support diversity and inclusion, but it's like, I'm not just supporting it blindly because of these things. I'm supporting it because it is good. And that's what's most important to me. I want to, like, I'm going to support it. I'm going to watch it. And of course I'm going to give it a shot. But like, it's just like, it's not good because it's this. It's good because it is good.
Exactly.
And it's great that it has this. So I think it's just like something that a lot of people, I hope to see more of. I'm glad this series exists now.
No, I
hope it opens the doors for more. Because like we've had to, and like, speaking as both being women of color, we've had this discussion about seeing ourselves and not being reduced to just a side character.
Yeah.
And then specifically, like you said, the statistics speak for themselves. Like, I can identify there's more Black women characters out there for me, but it's not always going to be, it hasn't always been that great. But then like how we've talked about in anime specifically for us, as we are anime nerds, we have Yoruichi from Bleach.
Yep. And Chad. I got Chad.
And Chad. We got Chad. Chad, we can definitely confirm. But it's like, when we find a Black character or like a brown character in anime, we immediately are like, we get excited, but then at the same time we have like this apprehension of like, oh no, like, are they gonna die? What's gonna happen to them? But then it's like, it's also, part of it is like, some of the characters that we see that are like brown or Black, or like a person of color that isn't like Japanese in an anime, half the time they aren't really given an ethnicity.
Yeah.
They aren't given a culture. They're just there. And like with Cannon Busters, for example, everyone is brown, black, different shades, different appearances. But it's not like there is in Africa. There's not like I can't say they're of African descent. I can say they are black. Yeah. But I can't, but it's also saying like, these are people of color cast. Like I can't basically say like, oh, these are African American characters in an anime.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I can say that they have these features and stuff, but it's like, but this, like, Seis Manos allows you to say this is an anime with Mexican people. Yeah. With the culture infused in it. And I think that's so dope. And I'm like, and I just want to make that clear. Nothing against Cannon Busters. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's great to have the culture and all these extra things added into the series.
We don't have to be, we don't have to be Gamora and Valkyrie. Like, we actually get to be who we are. And it's I love Tessa and I love Zoe and I love their characters, but at the end of the day, she is still an Asgardian and she is still a green alien.
Thank you, because we've had this discussion where I think I have shouted to the void on Twitter multiple times when I said the first black woman with speaking lines in the MCU was Alfre Woodard, not in Luke Cage, but in Ultron.
Yes.
That was the first time. And then, that's about it. And she only had maybe 2 to 3 lines and was gone. And we did not hear anything from her ever again until she magically appeared in Luke Cage, which we just imagined that she was a spy. Whatever. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter for continuity. Continuity don't matter. It was like, we can use her again, put her over there. But the point is, and then people are always quick to be like, well, what about this person? I'm like,
oh my God. Oh.
Gamora is an alien. I am specifically saying a black woman character. When we say we don't see this ethnicity and character, you can't say Gamora an alien and Tessa Thompson another form of alien are those ethnicities in that universe. That's not how it works. It's great to have those actors in those roles, but they don't count as those ethnicities being represented. Yeah. I'm probably using ethnicity and race backwards, but y'all can sue me.
No, I mean, like, I think you're completely right. Like, we run into this thing where, like, we have quite a few Latinos in the MCU. Michael Pena is the only one who gets to be Latino. Right. Nobody else does. And he makes a deportation joke his first time. Like, his first movie. Like, Yikes. Not a good look. And, again, like, we deserve that spotlight. Like, we deserve to be our heroes. And seeing Seis Manos, which is just, it is just that hero myth. Like, we are the heroes, we are the villains, we are there. It means a lot. Which is phenomenal to watch. And honestly, the only thing, well, there are like 2 things I didn't like about Seis Manos, but like the only thing that I didn't like really was a lot of Brister's dialogue. Yeah, that was mine. Like, he literally just, like, makes fun and shits on the curandera the entire time. And he's low-key bigoted. Like, he does not like Mexicans.
No, he's bigoted. It's not even low-key. He said, I don't speak Mexican. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, Father God.
It's real bad. And
I figured Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I figured it was part of, like, it's set in the 70s, and there's this, like, what's the word? Prejudice. Like, there's this prejudice that he has, and I think it's, like, I don't know if it was their way of showing, like, different races have prejudice against one another, so, and he definitely does. Like, he shows up yelling about police and all this shit, not even trying to talk to people, just, like, it's just, and then like the whole I don't speak Mexican, or how do you say this in Mexican? Like, he said it multiple times. He's like, and the dude, I love that the Mango Stand man was like, because that's not a language. Yeah. And he just like stared blank at him. I'm like, you dumbass. Like,
Well, and that's why I really liked the fucking the moments in the curandera's house where Garbina's like every time he would say something shitty, she would just send him flashbacks to Vietnam.
He deserved it.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those things where like So one of the other cool things about Sismanos, and I say this as somebody who isn't fluent in Spanish, they don't subtitle anything. Like the Spanish is just there. If you're watching it with subtitles, you get that Spanish word in Spanish. You don't get English translations. Like it just unfolds, which is beautiful to watch. They did the same thing in Into the Spider-Verse. And it's trusting. It's one, explaining who your target audience is, and it's two, treating us like we're normal. And so I understand that having Brister there works to be the stand-in for a viewer who isn't Mexican or isn't Spanish speaking, but he didn't have to be so bigoted.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, only thing I could do is like I chop this up to it being the 70s, but Brister was truly like Black Dynamite.
Yeah,
he was definitely just Black Dynamite times 10 on The Prejudice.
Exactly.
It's like, oh god, it just,
and it was like, also. Go ahead.
No, that was just like, that was one of my pet peeves, and like, is he ever gonna stop saying "speak Mexican"? That was just, it was like nails on a chalkboard every time he said that. Like, I'm just embarrassed. Like, you represent us all. Stop it. I was being one of those black people. I'm like, you represent us all, and you are embarrassing us. I know that's not the case, but I'm like, I chopped it up to like, I get it. It's the time and the setting, but it's just like, oh, geez, like
It didn't feel necessary. Like it felt like it took me out of it a little bit.
It was a little forced at some parts. I think it was just not, like you said, it wasn't necessary after. Even like initially, it could have just like, okay, we're gonna have him stop saying this stuff now. But no, he's still a prejudice.
Like, how many times did Garcia have to be like, yo, stop. This is...
like, the exchange they have in the car, where she's like... And, like, I'm like, yes, please have this discussion. Because, as a black woman, I constantly feel like I have to have this discussion with other black people, specifically black men, when it comes to them realizing that, oh God, please do not call me a white man's whore, y'all. I swear to God, just listen to me. There are some people who feel that they as black men have the hardest struggles ever in life. As I say this, I'm not negating your experience. I'm not negating our people's experience. But I do think it's important to understand and have empathy that other cultures have struggles too. Okay? So I say that with the exchange in the car they had, and Brister realized, oh, you, as a Mexican woman, being in the police force, you too have struggles, like similar to my struggles.
In a town controlled by cartels.
And it was just like the look on his face, oh, I guess we both, like he's like, yeah, try and take a walk in my shoes. I was like, yeah, you think? Yeah. Like, come on, man. It was like, it was the oppression Olympics.
Yeah.
On his side for a bit. I'm just like, you were literally in their country. You don't know how shit works there. How about you listen to her for a little bit? It's one of my pet peeves when those discussions happen, because people are just so quick to negate or just like say like, oh, no, you have no idea what I'm going through. I'm like, obviously everyone doesn't understand what everyone's going through. But the point is to listen to one another.
Yeah, it's
then you might find open. Similarities.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, did you say something?
Yeah. No, I said, 100%. It's to be open. It's to understand that everybody carries their own baggage. And being open to understanding other people, which I think, like, because I think a lot of the times you will find more overlap than not. I mean, it's specifically speaking for people of color.
Yes.
I mean, especially with the way the fucking U.S. is set up. Like, but, yeah, it is also one of those things is, like, like when it came to how they incorporate, and I said this because fun fact, I wrote 3 whole ass pieces on Sesmanos because
Only 3?
original review my original review was 2,000 words long.
Jesus Christ.
And my editing team was like, yo, we can't publish this shit. This is real long. So we ended up cutting out 2 other parts, and one was about Santa Muerte, and I went like into deep detail on that. And then the other one was on how they blended exploitation cinema and kung fu cinema. And like my only critique is they spend so much time in detailing out mexploitation and like this narco cinema, like this, like those details, and then they shove all the blaxploitation into Brister, and that is the only time you really get it. And he is like he's you're right, he's a Black Dynamite clone. And it's frustrating because it is the only shortcoming of the show.
Yeah.
And I feel like they felt that they had to do that to represent an American audience. You know what I mean? Like if they had done this purely just as Mexicans talking to each other and everything, there wouldn't be that like latch, that hook for us to for Americans to latch onto, you know, like non-Latinos.
Oh, for sure. It's like definitely the argument that people said, like, I don't think it's an argument, I just think it's a point. Like Black Panther. Like the CIA agent.
Yeah.
People complained about like, what purpose did he serve there? And been like, because I'm not gonna lie, he did one thing. Yeah. And if he wasn't there besides doing that one thing, the movie really wouldn't have changed that much.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying. I'm like, not like, but I think that's something that happens a lot in movies. They insert a character where it's like, this character isn't really needed. Or, the worser extreme is Matt Damon in the Wall movie. I think that's...
Well, that's what I was listening to. I was like, with all of my problems with Brister, at least they chose somebody and tried to style him off of another type of exploitation cinema.
Right.
Because, like, I feel like it would have been 10 times worse with a white dude doing that. Like, it would have been 10 times worse for me to see, and it like, being bigoted, like, I have been told, go back to your country by literally every fucking race there is. It sucks. And it always sucks. Yeah. But it sucks a little bit more when it's a white person. And so, like, I feel like they knew what they needed him to play, and so I think that is why they chose Mike Colter.
Yeah. Another good choice
to pull him in. His voice acting's great. Like, he's a great addition to the cast. His writing's bad. It's the only fault I have with the show, really.
Yeah, and like I said, I can only assume. I hope we're done with that shit after season 1. If Brister is still saying y'all talking Mexican, I'm done. I'm not gonna stop watching the show. I'm just saying that character. I'm done.
We're gonna throw the whole character out.
Yeah, put it in rice.
To be fair, I mean, he did seem to have a nice come around at the end. Yeah. So
he definitely did. I think he definitely goes through his whole, like, I have a better understanding now that I've met.
Oh, wait. People. Sometimes Mexicans want to fight the drug dealers and not be them.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, oh, wait, sometimes Mexicans want to fight the drug dealers and not be them. That's pretty much his entire, like, thing as a DEA agent. But, like, it's also, like, really common in narco cinema and, like, that type of stuff. So, like, that's fine. But better written dialogue, man.
True. That's all it would have taken. Which is, like, I'm hoping anybody who, like, watch this, they could maybe it would like shine a light on how ignorant they were.
Yeah,
like, I'm hoping. Just like that would be great if like the people who were just like, oh wait, you mean they don't want the cartels? No, they don't want the cartels there. You idiots.
Oh my god, the funniest thing is when I tweeted out my review, somebody commented in my review saying, "Oh yeah, I loved it when they spoke Mexican," and I did not know if that fucker was joking. Or if he was being serious. And so I just responded with the asterisks and put Spanish.
I saw that. I might have liked it, I think. But yes. Smart move, friend. I was like,
I don't know what you're going at here.
Like, are you making a joke about this
Yeah.
series? It's so hard to
Yeah.
tell.
It's rough.
Oh gosh. Well, real quick, since we wanted to keep this brief,
yes.
but what were you, if you had to say top 3 favorite parts from this season?
Okay, so number 1 is the first big battle we have when Silencio is with his girlfriend and she starts singing Malombre. That song is actually really beautiful for the show and like for that scene. So like Malombre is a Tejano song from I think it's like the 1930s, and it entirely talks about a woman's abuse. And so like to have Isabella being like the main focus and taking down these monsters in it and like coming to terms with understanding and letting go of her father, and then also having Silencio who is fighting against being that bad guy. It was really beautiful scene, and I don't know who they got to sing it, but the voice was beautiful. Like that's my favorite one. My second favorite scene is honestly, it's gotta be when there's that giant pile of bodies in the middle of San Simon, because I didn't think they'd go that dark, but they did.
Whew. Yeah. Again, these are the people who made Castlevania.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot. That was one of those moments where I was like, oh gosh, that's real bad. And then the like my third one would be when Isabella's fighting inside herself, and you get the line that's pretty close to Bruce Lee's like "Be Like Water."
Yeah.
And you see her strength, not just her physical strength, but her like mental strength as well. So those are probably my top 3.
Nice. I like those. So for me, I would definitely say the reveal with the church.
Ooh, yes.
With the padre, and it is specifically because, again, as I said, I'm a Christian, but I'm the kind that likes, I will call out the BS from the church's past.
Yeah.
And, like, throughout history of like the manipulation and everything. And just like getting that reveal, I was like, I knew it! You can't trust priest in anime.
No, never. Not a one.
Except unless they're blue exorcists and they exorcise demons. That's it. That is it. But my rule remains: you never trust the priest in anime. So that was really dope. That getting that reveal. I also enjoyed I'm trying to think. It's the scene where, God dang it. Sorry, I'm having a blank. It's when they are pinned down in the jailhouse.
Yeah.
So it's that scene. I couldn't think of the name of a jailhouse.
Oh, where Piejo does the thing. The thing that Jesus teaches. Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah, with the dogs.
Yes.
And like that whole thing. And then it's like they're pinned down for forever. And then they find out like, oh, no one's getting shot. Nothing's happening. And it's because Silencio has taken out all the snipers.
Everybody.
Necks twisted. You can see the spine. It is bad. But he just like so quickly took out everybody. Just, again, shows his scale of power.
Yeah.
And like how deadly he is. And then lastly for me, I think it would definitely be when the flashback of Isabella, and she's like, I can't remember what died. Was it a pet? But she was like talking about
it was her little bird.
Right, it was the bird. So her like seeing her like you really get a sense of like her as a character, but like then also the relationship between her and her father, of like them like talking, like him, like she's just like so by the book and she's so focused on like doing things right and everything. But then it's also revealed later because like apparently something kept on digging up the bird and she thought she was doing something wrong and it was all her fault. So then it's revealed that Silencio stopped whatever was like, I think it was a raccoon or whatever, or coyote, from digging it up, and he never said it was him. but he did it because he didn't want her to like freak. He didn't want her to think it was her fault anymore. And he cares.
He's so loving.
He's so loving, and he cares, but he doesn't say it with the words, obviously, because he can't, or he chooses not. I guess. Not correct me if I'm wrong. It's that he can't speak, and he chooses not to try to speak. Correct, since what Bade did to him.
Yeah, it's because they cut out his tongue.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
And that is in the first episode in the trailer. It's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's what it is. It was bad. Like those flashbacks they show for Silencio, like, oh my god, boy had a troubled ass life.
Yeah, very, 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 very. I just want to give him a hug.
I know.
I want to tell him it's all okay and it's not his fault.
Give him a hug with my legs.
That is okay for me to say, not you. I'm the thirsty one on this podcast. I'm hugging his legs. Oh god. Oh, I'll hug him with my legs. All right. Oh goodness. Okay. Any last thoughts on Seis Manos?
On that note, we're gonna end this.
This could quickly take a turn to the After Dark section of the podcast. Woo. Oh goodness.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love it. Obviously.
Mm-hmm. It is the holy trinity of Kate.
Yeah.
Or the unholy trinity of Kate.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it so much. One more thing I do want to point out, like, gringo is, like, really just something you call Mexicans. Or not Mexicans, sorry. Gringo is really something you just call Americans a lot of the time. Like, regardless of what they are.
I love that he didn't get that. I do want to
point that out.
I do love that he did not get that every time. I'm like, it's because you're American, dumbass. And it's because
because it's also one of those things, too, where you're like, pinche gringo. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you don't say it unless that person is really fucking annoying you.
Mm-hmm. I at least picked up on that one. Brister was just, God. Whew.
He was a lot.
He was a lot, but, you know, here's to season 2 with Brister not being the most annoying character, hopefully.
Yeah. I think if that is, like, that is what sucks. Like, it is a near perfect series, but, like, it felt to, like, everything else was done to the point where you knew that these guys knew their shit. Like, you knew that they knew exploitation cinema. They knew kung fu cinema. I'm like, yo, did you just watch an episode? Like, did you just watch one movie and call it a day with Brister?
Yeah.
But hopefully they fix that. I mean, I think that they, like, it's an easy thing to fix.
Oh yeah, I feel like, honestly, for me, had they just, like, cut out his prejudice, like, obviously his prejudice isn't gonna go away overnight, but if, like, the whole, like, quips, like, I feel like that was half of his personality. Like, yeah. If that could have just, like, been dialed back by the maybe 3rd episode,
yeah,
I'd be good with that. But yeah, it's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah. Final thoughts for me. I'm upset that I have to wait now.
I know it hasn't even gotten officially renewed.
Oh, we better be getting to season 2.
I know.
I don't have time for Netflix and they BS with the whole, oh, we only do 2 seasons or 1 season. No. I will burn it all down.
Yeah.
I will go to wherever Netflix is stationed. I don't know where their, like, headquarters is, but I'm going to burn it all down if we do not get a season 2. Please don't arrest me. I'm not going to burn anything down.
But, like, give us a season 2.
Give us, please. Y'all can't do this to me. I've already, like, fiending for Castlevania season 3. Now I have to fiend for Seis Manos season 2.
Yeah.
This isn't fair. You can't keep making really good anime and not have already announced that it's coming again.
Mm-hmm. So
but yeah,
I do think that we have. So I do believe they started planning for season 2.
okay.
So hopefully,
My assumption with that ending, which we're not going to give too many spoilers away in this episode, because y'all just go watch it. One, support this awesome series, but also it's good, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody either.
Yeah.
But that ending, there has to be a season 2.
Yeah.
I just need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening to me rant about all this, Nisha. I feel like I talked way more than I should have.
No, you talked a perfect amount. I honestly could listen to you talk about it more if you want to. I would make you give a whole TED talk on this with PowerPoint slides and everything, because it really helped me even learn more about this, and now I want to go and rewatch it again, because I would have not have known like all the little details like regarding like the Mexican culture and the religion. Like I could pick up on context clues, but I really enjoyed you bringing that to this discussion. It was very helpful and enlightening.
Fun fact, I've watched the series through 3 times now.
How? Kate?
I just put it on in the background now. I love it.
So where are you at with Promised Neverland though?
That's in Japanese. I don't speak that.
Catherine!
I'm sorry.
It has been on Adult Swim for over months now. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna yell at you.
I'm sorry.
I love you.
Nisha, I am doing my part to make sure that they get a season 2.
I can't be mad at you because your streams count.
Exactly.
So that's the only reason why I'm not upset. But
exactly.
I need y'all to remind Kate on Twitter anytime she's talking about any other anime besides Seis Manos that she has to finish The Promised Neverland, because fun fact, it's getting a live action.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, we will discuss it later, like on another episode. Maybe the episode where we talk about The Promised Neverland after Kate watches the entire series. Season of season 1. That's only 12 episodes.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's fine. We've got time. It's okay. But anyways, where can they find us, Kate?
Oh gosh, if you want to join our conversation and talk with us about us, let us know what you thought about Seis Manos, and just get at us. You can find us on Twitter at DYHT_pod, and you can find me at Oh My Mithrandir. I do know, because we are over 500 followers now, we're gonna have to suffer through the last Airbender eventually.
Yeah, we're also over 600 now, so if we get to 750, we also have to watch Ghost in the Shell.
It's gonna be a rough November, isn't it?
It's gonna be. We'll see if we get there. Only thanks to viewers like you.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, I think we could probably we'll definitely watch Avatar: The Last Airbender before the end of this year.
Yeah.
But we might, I fear that we might have to watch Ghost in the Shell before the end of this year too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we should definitely make a huge event of it and make people join us, like in the Discord, and listen to us scream.
Oh yeah, I think that would be a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also, so I think Carol and Tuesday's second half comes up in December, so we should do a review of Carol and Tuesday too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because Netflix is giving us all this diverse anime content.
Mm-hmm. It's almost as if they're finally listening to the audiences and what we want.
I know.
It is a glorious time to be a weeb.
It really is. It is a glorious time to be a weeb who looks like us.
Yes, that is true. So happy.
Also, where can they find you, Nisha?
Oh, they can find me also on Twitter at LA_NEY_SHA.
Time for the Dragon Ball Z outro.
Well, you didn't tell them where you could find you.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Just in case, you can find me at Omar Randier. I will probably still be yelling about Sismanos, but like it's totally worth it because I have had at least 11 different people DM me telling me how much they like Sismanos and how they watched it because I brought it up. So like, I'm gonna keep spreading the gospel of Santa Nusefra.
You're doing the Lord's work. Yeah, with that, will I ever stop hounding Kate to watch The Promised Neverland? Will Kate ever finish watching The Promised Neverland? Will we ever be over how great Seis Manos is? Find out next time on Did You Have To? Bye.
Bye.